Well, we've got a brand new soap, just came out. Wholly Kaw, I assume is how you pronounce that. Tempest. And it's made in the donkey milk version, I believe. And it says tallow on the front, but maybe that means donkey milk as well. It's a very lightly scented soap from the tub. I hope it increases as I'm using it. It's kind of a light beige color, pretty soft. Didn't take very much to hoke it out, and so I did decide to use the whole quarter teaspoon, which usually is necessary for the really soft soaps because they just have more liquids in there, and you have to use more. The scent I get, I definitely pick up on the ozone or a kind of a watery scent. The description says there's also birch tar in there. And to be honest, sometimes I can smell that, sometimes I can't. Can't really smell it right now. I think a damp earth, an earthy dirt smell is there too. At least in the profile and the scent description. Don't really know that I picked that up too much. But it was a pre-order only kind of soap. And the description sounded good, and I don't have too many soaps by Wholly Kaw. They have a lot of scents, but a lot of them aren't really my style. So I wanted to snatch this up. The razor we'll use today, the business end, is the Christopher Bradley by Karve, K-A-R-V, and it is a new brass razor that they've got out. This is a Wolfman handle from a Guerilla. I think it kind of fits this razor pretty well, I mean, except for the color. I'm waiting on my other handle to arrive. Inside of it is a Gillette Silver Blue that I've used 3 times already. So it should be nicely settled in, and this is my second use of this head. It's the C base plate. For the Bradley razor, they use different base plates that you can order individually, and I think the C is pretty good. It's a little on the aggressive side of like aggressive and comfortable, you know, and so it's very efficient. It gave me a great shave yesterday, so I figured I'd use it again and keep things consistent and be able to really give Tempest a good comparison. And I have spread 1/4 teaspoon of the soap into my Dollar Tree soup bowl. The brush for today is a Mozingo handle that I really like, and in it is a supposed Silvertip brush by Frank Shaving, 24 millimeter perhaps, but it's being prickly. This is just my 3rd use of it. I don't know if the prickliness is going to go away or not, so we'll see. But that's the way it is for now. All right, let's go ahead and lather this up. We're all ready to go. I'm going to squeeze most of the water out just so that we know how much water we're using. So it's just a moist brush, a little damp, not wet by any means. A little bit of the scent is coming up to my nose. And as you can see, it's actually, doing a little bit just with a damp brush. Let's go ahead and add. I like to use a syringe here because it makes it easy to add just a few drops of water or half a teaspoon at a time, whatever I need. And I can track it so that next time I use a particular soap, I'll know how much water I used. since this kind of was reacting pretty well to just a moist brush, I only added a quarter of a teaspoon of water. Add another quarter teaspoon. I am going to switch now, once I've got this paste put together, to a half a teaspoon because it would just take too long. If you want, there is a speed button on YouTube. Little setting, little gear icon should be in the bottom right maybe. And you can change the playback speed so you don't have to listen to this in real time. 1.5 is about as fast as you can go to still understand, most people at least, to still understand words. Maybe 1.2 or something like that. Will be a little slower, but it will be easier to understand what I'm saying. Now look at that, we've got a nice sheeny kind of early lather built up. Alright, now that that's kind of matured, I'm going to go ahead and add a half teaspoon. A lot of the soap is up on the walls, so I'll need to kind of bring that down. It's a nice thing about these vertical walls on this particular bowl. I don't usually have any danger that the soap is going to come out when I do that. Getting thicker and thicker. Another half teaspoon. This is a Frank shaving knot, allegedly a Silvertip, but I tell you, it feels more like some cheap badger because it's prickly. A few of the hair tips have actually gelled and hooked and stuff, and they're probably pretty soft, but I guess not all the hairs are that way, so there's some that are really poking me. Got it off their eBay store on Frank Shaving. Hopefully their customer service is good so I can return it, but I don't know how many uses I should put into it before I realize whether the prickliness is going to stay or go. Badgers usually don't take very long to kind of settle in. They're not like boars. This is a great looking high sheen lather. We have added 2 teaspoons to it. And now we're going to put in another half teaspoon. This is a big knot. It can hold a lot of lather. Big old guy. Never had a knot be prickly. A good knot. the Frank shaving, another Frank shaving knot that I have is Finest Badger. Is way better than this one, and started that way from the beginning. No prickliness at all. But I've tried Badgers and Silvertips from about half a dozen different makers. Never had one be pokey or prickly like this knot. Okay, we are starting to have some flexibility in the lather here. So let's do a little finger test. Oh, nice slickness. Very nice. Not a whole lot of cushion, but I may not be measuring cushion properly. So don't take my word on that one. All right, get my face wet. I'm using cool water, and it is hard water. So we'll see how Wholly Kaw does in hard water. I am getting that ozone scent right now. Am I getting any birch tar? Maybe, but it's so faint that if I didn't know what I was looking for, I probably wouldn't be able to pick it out. Earth. Am I getting dirt? Maybe. Again, pretty faint. To me, the dominant note is definitely the ozone / water type scent. So last night with this same razor and blade, I used Jeff's soap from Cold River. That'll be a good comparison. I did probably take it a little too thin, but it was still very workable. All right. Just 24 hours on this beard growth. Isn't it funny how we have shaving habits? I almost always, on this side of my face, go down here. On this side of my face, I come across to the front like that. I think this C head on the Christopher Bradley is probably going to be my kind of money head. One where it's right on that line where the right blade will make it be a very effective and efficient shaver. And a comfortable shaver. An average blade might be a little bit irritating, still give me good results. the wrong blade be too rough. All right, rinse off. Not a whole lot of slickness. Rinsing off of the first pass, but that is sometimes very standard since I don't do any pre-shave. So that first pass kind of washes off all the oils, and that can reduce the slickness of the soap because it's busy. I am feeling a little bit of prickliness here. Now, I don't think as much as before, but we'll see. I think I mixed it pretty well. I stopped at the right point with the water. I don't know that I'd want to go any thinner than this, but my hydration feels good. The felt good glide with the razor. There are some that take a little bit longer to rinse, you know, the slickness off of my fingers. But this one just takes a second or two. There are some that take a lot less time. All right, pass number 2. The shave has been very comfortable so far. This base plate is aggressive enough to where I'm not saying that it's smooth, super smooth, reasonably smooth. But I got such a great shave from it last night. I don't mind not calling it smooth because I want if it does its job really well, and that's what I want. I do need to remember to switch and do this section right here. Slowly. And from the bottom up on any pass after the second. That's just what I've discovered to be about the best technique that I can have for that. Been a really tough time trying to find what gets this little area. I may find something else that does even better, but for right now, that is. Now, let's do our little half rinse, see how the slickness feels now. Yeah, that's nice. Right up there with, you know, good soaps like Barrister and Man. Very nice. All right, third pass. You know, I think the prickliness is diminished from last night. I'm still kind of feeling it, and maybe it's the fact that my skin is more susceptible to feeling it on like the third pass after a good close shave, you know? So the scent strength, that's been kind of my biggest concern as I smelled it from the tub. I'm getting a little bit of it. Maybe a 2 out of 10 is how I'm receiving it. And from listening to some of the other folks out there, because they received theirs yesterday as well, or today, and were able to shave with it. And they were saying they'd put it about a couple people said they'd put it about a 4 out of 10. So maybe I've got some congestion issues on occasion. This one's pretty obstructed. I'd say maybe 30%. The other one's pretty good, but and that might have something to do with how I often don't get a large, good strength of soap scent, a good sampling. So it's a pleasant scent. I just lathered up for the third pass. Here's how much. And this is about what I like to have left over after 3 passes, because this will give me good touch-ups. So it looks like with this soap I would have to use the full 1/4 teaspoon of soap per shave. All right, let's shave it off. Light touches here. This hand is not there to stretch the skin. It's just there to kind of keep it from moving. And just in case I do need to do a little bit of stretching or something. The good slickness of this soap, as you probably just saw, is letting me have the flexibility of going back over an area that I'd already removed the lather from. There are some soaps where you can't do that. Nice glide on this. Really good slickness. My cheeks are done pretty well, so I don't really have to bother with a cross grain pass again for the third pass. I can do whatever I feel like at the time. Usually I use it to kind of try to dial in the angle really well. There we go. 3 passes, above average result. Right here, I'll go ahead and do a touch up. Any skin irritation? No, feels good. Feels good. Prickly. See, when I touch it like that, I do feel those prickly hairs. Wonder if they sent me an inexpensive knot by accident instead of the Silvertip. Maybe this batch of Silvertip just had some prickly hair sneak in. I'm going to tilt my razor a little bit to kind of have a slide action going on where maybe it will cut the hairs a little easier. And with that slide, the hairs go that way on my neck, and so that slide had a with the grain component to it. But if I switch to this angle, I have sometimes I have a against the grain component to it. If I go against the grain, my skin really gets irritated, and so I don't. But that's all right, because I'm not trying to chase that baby butt smooth gold. Just a close shave. Really nice, comfortable shave here. Very nice. Full rinse. So the scent profile here, dirt, pine tar, and that was what they meant to put in it, going for kind of a pirate, stormy seas kind of idea. And I really like that because they've got a lot of florally stuff at Wholly Kaw, and I really like this direction. However, those two notes that I mentioned are kind of hard for me to distinguish because of the low strength of the scent. I definitely get that watery ozone type scent, or at least what I'm perceiving is that. That one is coming across, to me at least. But the other two really aren't. So for me, it's just an aquatic shaving soap. Maybe I smell a little bit of the dirt. If I had to rank them, it's so faint it's hard to tell for sure, but if I had to rank them, I'd say that the pine tar is about a 5% of the profile to my nose, and the dirt is at 20 or 30%, with the rest going to the ozone and watery aquatic type scent. The soap, nice sheen on it, protected me really well. This is what's left over after 3 passes and a touch up, and that's exactly how I usually like it, a little bit of margin. And the soap is, the peaks are nice and soft and kind of slippery. The bottom one kind of collapses in on itself a little bit. Very hydrated, very hydrated lather. Performance good. Maybe, if I had to guess, I might say Barrister and Man, it performs a little better. Just a hair, and I believe another thing you may need to watch out for is that there are soaps that do perform this good in terms of slickness. That where you only have to use half as much, and so for the value, the other soaps are going to be better. If that's a concern to you, because you might have to buy 2 tubs of this to equal 1 tub, and so you can't really compare price per ounce, because maybe half an ounce will do the job of 1 ounce of this, just fractionally speaking. And so then that makes this a lot more expensive per use. So for you budget-wise, you may want to consider that. So basically just an aquatic scent, and not as kind of sophisticated as I might want to bring in to my own den, but very slick, good performance anyway. It'd probably be even more cushion, maybe a little slicker if I backed off the water just a hair. So how much did we put in there? 3 teaspoons for a 1/4 teaspoon of soap. So that gives you the ratio for me that was right on the line of being maybe a little too watered down. I'll back off on that, maybe 2.5 teaspoons of water next time, something like that. Give that a shot. But good soap. The scent just maybe wasn't there for me. A little too strong is what I usually, a little more strong would be my own preference, but everybody's different. And the good news is that this should be just fine for people with sensitive skin that are sometimes have a problem with stronger scents. So there we go. This was made specifically for a Reddit subreddit of wet shaving, and it's really neat. A collaboration effort from about 3 of the members, I think, and they did a great job. So there we go. I would be pleased to have this soap, Desert Island Question, 20-year supply of this soap with this razor and this blade. Another very good performance by the Bradley head with a Gillette Silver Blue inside of it. 4th use of the blade, still going very strong. Let's check the results of the little trouble spot area. Oh yeah, above average. Just some tips, little hair tips I see, and that is above average. Usually I see some length to a good many hairs, but not so, and that's often with 2 touch-up passes. This one just had a 1 touch-up pass, so very happy about that. Disappointed in the scent strength, but that's okay. That's okay. That's the way it goes. This is a good brand. Slick, good quality, good folks that make it. Just maybe not my style. You know, not every soap is for everybody. Hope this helped you in some way. If you like strong soaps, strongly scented soaps, then maybe, you know, this one might not be up your alley. Oh, really cool stormy artwork on this label as well. Very nice. There we go. Hope you found something helpful. I don't know whether the prickliness of this brush is reducing. I don't think it is. So I think I will check. That's the 3rd use of it. I think I'll try to maybe take it back, see if the eBay seller will let me ship it back to him or something. All right. Have a good night. Take care.